A number of fearful St. Louis area residents have called the You Paid For team about Missouri's efforts to reclaim accidentally overpaid federal unemployment benefits spent to help folks through the pandemic. While the governor initially balked at forgiving the overpayments, a bill now moving through the legislature will do just that. Here's tonight's You Paid For It. Jason Hill from High Ridge in Jefferson County is one of those who called me after getting an alarming notice from the state of Missouri. I've had several viewers calling me who the state is trying to reclaim anywhere from $1,200 to $14,000 in federal unemployment money paid out by the state of Missouri.
The state of Missouri sent me a correspondence stating that they overpaid me due to a fault of their own and are expecting the payment back and are taking my unemployment every week and pretty much leaving me with little to nothing to provide for my family.
The federal government sent that money to Missouri to help people slammed by the pandemic. The Missouri Labor Department paid out too much in federal and state funds. Governor Parsons' position was to get the money back.
If they overpaid you, why shouldn't they take it back?
Because it wasn't a fault of mine. I didn't do anything to commit fraud or anything like that. And that's what the paperwork says. It's a non-fraud overpayment, and they're just taking it like I stole it from them.
Many Republican and Democratic legislators agreed. There's a measure making its way through the legislature that would forget the federal portion of the money overpaid. It's already passed through the House by a vote of 157-3 on a bipartisan vote. Democratic Representative Lakeisha Bosley of St. Louis is one of those pushing this legislation.
Overpayments happen. We understand that, but in the midst of a pandemic, of time where people are laid off, they're feeling hopeless. For the state to have these federal dollars that have come in to be able to give them some relief and give them some hope in some way, I think that we should not be trying to collect this money.
It works a hardship on you and your family?
Yes, it does. It causes me to not be able to make my bills on time and fear of electric being shut off or house payment not being made. And I mean, because of the pandemic, I'm reduced down to part-time work because I work in the food industry. And it really hurts with them taking it from me.
The federal government gave us an option as a state to waive these overpayments, especially if they're non-fraudulent and they were in a good faith and a good based effort. I think that's what we should be doing.
What would you tell the governor?
I would tell the governor if it was a fault of the persons, I understand that to a point. But if it was an administrative error or a part on the state of Missouri, why would you take money from them when they didn't commit an error?
Now, Governor Parson has softened his opposition as far as trying to get back overpaid federal funds, so he could very well support the bipartisan measure making its way through the legislature to give citizens a break. Some want the state overpayments waived too. The governor apparently won't go along with that. Of course, I'll stay on top of this deal. After all, you paid for it. And coming up, a shocking discovery by the Justice Center Task Force. Straight ahead in the Fox Files, what you'll hear where one inmate spent 38 days.